Hi, my name is Mileena Sosa. Um, I'm currently enrolled in the single subject teaching credential program. Something that I do for fun is walk my French bulldog. His name is Boogie. He is currently 10 months old, so he is a baby. Um, my perception of a good online class would be a class where everyone participates and engages with the material that we are learning about. During the instructor video, I learned that our instructor teaches English and is a general education teacher for grades 9 through 12, and also has experience in the United States and Kenya. Um, the 13 disability categories covered under the Individuals with Disability Education Act, which is the IDEA, is autism, deafblindness, deafness, emotional disturbance, hearing impairment, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, specific learning disability, speech and language impairment, traumatic brain injury, and visual impairment. In order to qualify for special education services, an individual must have a documented disability in some area. So it would have to fall within those 13 categories that I just listed. And the disability must have an adverse or a negative impact on school performance. According to the TED Talk video, two common issues associated with adolescents and disabilities would be happiness and disability. So during this TED Talk, I learned that some parents tend to believe that their child who has a disability would be less happy than a child who doesn't have a disability. And during a study, they compared children who did have a disability with children who did not have a disability, and found that there was no difference in happiness levels. And for the last question, why is people first language important? It is important to use people first language, since this language does emphasize the person and not the disability. So an example would be a person with a disability rather than saying a disabled person. Another reason why it's important to use people first language is because it eliminates generalizations and stereotypes by focusing on the person rather than the disability. So basically that means that the language, it basically brings awareness to the language society uses to refer to a person with disabilities, since it kind of highlights the beliefs around it and the generalizations and stereotypes. It's also important just in regards of dignity and respect and acceptable language and professionalism. So it's important that we recognize how an individual identifies and using language that honors that identity.